ball. It's headed your way, Dan.
He threw it to official Kelly Pfeiffer, who, even if he wanted to catch and shoot it, he had to step out of the way. These are the kind of possessions that you have to stay away from if you're going to come up with the upset victory. St. Mary's doesn't necessarily turn you over because of ball pressure, but they force you into difficult shots with that containment pressure.
Morauskas,
He's a little.
Salonis, Ross, Barrett, and Saxon for the Gaels. This is Ross. This guy's been terrific this year. Morauskas skips it out high. Ross, the lefty, bangs one home, and we're all tied at 4. 3 minutes in. Hope you got good bandwidth out there, kids. Stone Carawell. Sansa not really an offensive threat. And a big guard with a nice soft touch from 15 feet.
This is a difficult matchup for a lot of two guards in this league because of shots just like that. He'll get into the paint, and then he's got the ability to rise up over the top and shoot it with a little bit of fadeaway.
Saxon, good defense by Asanza, the 7'1" center. That's Ross, line drive jumper. And Asanza has the rebound, and so far, LMU has held their own on the boards.
That's probably the most important factor of this game for LSU, besides making jump shots and scoring, is limiting St. Mary's second chance opportunities and really battling on the glass. They've been great in that category thus far.
Morauskas gets in, and he's fouled. That's Lamage Lewis with the reach. Our first time out. Welcome to the West Coast Conference in Los Angeles. The conference champs, St. Mary's. They clinched it last week with a win against their bitter rivals, Gonzaga, on the road in Spokane. Randy Bennett and the champs are here, and this is all about taking care of business and polishing the resume. Stan Johnson, Loyola Marymount Lions, right now sit in 6th place in the West Coast Conference. They upset St. Mary's. They'll have that 6th spot for the conference tournament down in Vegas. Rich Waltz along with Gonzaga All-American Dan Dickow. Loyola Marymount playing well early on. And a left-handed layup inside by Javon Porter. And LMU has an 8-4 lead.
They've gotten off to a good start because they've been active on the glass, both ends of the floor. They've taken care of the basketball, which is something that you have to do against St. Mary's because of how good they are on the glass.
Gaels a little hot.
Johnston, excuse me, Rich. Johnston got caught on a switch. And Saxon able to deliver the high-low pass to Morauskas for the easy 2.
Vide. Not really an offensive player. And the transfer from UCLA with a miss from in tight. Marshallonis, Morauskas, Jordan Ross, Mitchell Saxon, Luke Barrett. This starting 5 has started every game this year for Randy Bennett. Only one other team in the country can say that. If you're wondering what's what in the West Coast Conference, St. Mary's the champs. They'll finish at home against Oregon State here on CBS Sports Network on Saturday night. Gonzaga has a key game at San Francisco on Saturday. And you go down to Loyola Marymount, yeah, they're 8-9, but if they upset here, the 6th spot in this conference is huge. It gets you a double bye into the quarterfinals of the conference tournament.
It's a unique setup that the WCC has had now for a number of years, essentially really protecting the top 2 schools from a possible upset against lower seeds.
Morauskas, maybe the most improved player for St. Mary's, maybe in the entire conference. I mean, going off his numbers last year at Arizona, he averaged 3 points and 1 rebound a game, 13 and 8 as a Gale. Vide turned away. I think that was Barrett that got a piece of it. Morauskas. Big can handle. Lost it. Amy with the steal. MJ Amy Jr., the transfer from San Jose State.
He was a big-time scorer for the Spartans a year ago. Still finding his way for Stan Johnson, but if he gets going, he provides a huge spark off the bench.
Stone Carrawell the miss. Aaron McBride an offensive rebound. St. Mary's doesn't give too many of those up. And McBride with the drive, and he's fouled. Hold on. It does not count. Do not count the bucket. Stan Johnson wants an explanation. He thought that the bucket was good.
Well, we'll get another look at it. It's a clear foul from Saxon, but in seeing it on second chance video, no continuation in college like the NBA, so I understand the call, even though you could have argued that it was in one motion after he picked it up, beating Saxon off the dribble.
Porter with a corner three, bounces out. The Gaels are one of the best rebounding teams in the country. They are second in the nation. Almost 10 more rebounds than their opponent each night. Morauskas blocked. Vide threads the pass. And Stone Carrawell goes down hard. A St. Mary's foul. What's the recipe for an upset here for LMU?
I think to get this win at home, you've got to be great on the glass, which we've already touched on a number of times. You've got to make life difficult for Marciulionis. 0 of 2 already with a turnover. You can't let him get comfortable and truly dictate the tempo and the terms of the game. And the last thing is, on the offensive end of the floor, you have to hit shots, something that LMU has done on occasion, but it's much more difficult against this St. Mary's defense than expected.
Amy's shot is off. Saxon with the rebound. Right now, and this is something that Stan Johnson talked about, he said LMU has to be as physical as they can be if they're going to dent St. Mary's, and the rebounding and the defense and just the physicality of the Gaels.
Well, you touched on it, the physicality of the Gaels. Mitchell Saxon is one of the best defenders in the entire country. And then they bring in size like Harry Wessel's off the bench. Luke Barrett's a tremendous rebounder for his position, as is Morauskas. They really place a premium on that category of the game.
Stone Carrawell. St. Mary's is an elite defensive team as well. They allow just 58 points a game. McBride the cutter, kick. Amy the three, got it. If he heats up, that's good news for LMU. This is exactly the start that Stan Johnson was hoping for. It was a very vocal and emotional practice today for LMU. Ross finds his way inside. Saxon muscles it up, gets to the free throw line, and a whistle. And he took over. His first year was at COVID. They slid last year. They've had good moments this year, and they've had some bad moments. So a win streak in the middle of the West Coast Conference and a losing streak has them a game under 500. It is LMU's final regular season game. They'll watch the action this weekend. And St. Mary's is at home against a pretty good Oregon State team on Saturday night. Saxon misses a couple. And let's see if LMU can continue their hot starts. Will Johnson, the Australian point guard, screens for Stone Carrawell. That's his spot. That's the second time he's buried a 15-footer from the elbow.
Good action from LMU that time. Not bringing Saxon into the pick and roll, but instead guard-to-guard pick and rolls, where sometimes guarding the screener as a guard, you're not used to your responsibilities. Carrawell taking advantage.
Mikey Lewis is in. Harry Wessels is in with Saxon. Two bigs were great against Gonzaga, but Saxon misses the jump hook there.
And good job from Porter by being vertical on that challenge. Not known as a great defender, although he will block shots with his length.
Porter has plenty of length, but misses the shot. Saxon has the rebound. Porter plays like a guard, and he's 6'11".
He's got a ton of potential. A season ago, honorable all-mention WCC at Pepperdine, but he's battled injuries throughout the course of his career. This is the first year he's actually been able to practice consistently.
Numbers to think about right now. St. Mary's has 9 rebounds. LMU's got 9 as well. If it's even all night, that's a huge win for the Lions. Porter launches and misses. Wessels goes tumbling over. And the Gaels have the basketball. Saxon against Porter. Spins into a double. Wessels played 30 minutes in that win on the road to get the championship in Spokane. Oh, goodness. Asanza sends it back against Marshallonis, and there's 10 to shoot.
A defensive anchor is what he can be in the middle. Does a nice job staying home, and because of his length, he's able to block that shot without overcommitting, which a lot of bigs would have done. At 7'1", with an even bigger wingspan, he has been good on that end of the floor this season.
Gaels a 4-minute drought, and Barrett misses a 3, and the rebound knocked out of bounds. Harry Wessels, 7'1", the junior, played great minutes in that Gonzaga win. And I wouldn't be surprised, Stan, if we see more of the Saxon-Wessels combination after watching Randy Bennett was so pleased with it up in Spokane.
It was really good in Spokane, and traditionally over the years, he hasn't done that type of lineup, 2 bigs like that. But due to circumstances against Gonzaga, they went long stretches, and it worked really well.
Stone Carrawell again from that elbow spot. This one from about 18 feet away. It's a 7-0 run now.
Carrawell's been tremendous. 8 points, 4 of 5 from the field. He's been able to get to the paint both on isolations as well as pick and rolls.
Marshallonis almost walked into Amy over Asanza, and a bucket there. This guy is so good. The reigning player of the year in the West Coast Conference. Most outstanding player in last year's conference tournament as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wins that award again this year, especially with St. Mary's already having wrapped up the title. I mean, Ike Nembhard at Gonzaga, I'm sure they've got some people in their boat, but many times you go with the winning team, and Marshallonis has been so valuable to them.
So good on the offensive glass of St. Mary's. Morauskas. There were 3 offensive rebounds in that sequence, and they come away with free throws.
I mean, they just flood the rim area on a shot attempt. We got another look at Caleb Stone Carrawell. He has become a dynamite scorer for Stan Johnson here this year, averaging nearly 14 a game.
I thought there would be free throws involved. I was told there would be free throws here tonight, Dan Dickow.
Yeah, we really haven't had any opportunities at the line yet. St. Mary's 2 of 4 from the free throw line, but in that particular instance, you're right. It seemed as if he corralled the rebound going up to finish.
LMU, a 6 seed is important, especially in the West Coast Conference. You get a double bye into the quarterfinals. Morauskas, a 3. Long on that one, and Porter has the rebound. If you're first or second in the conference, you get a triple bye into the semifinals. Gaels have clinched that. The winner of San Francisco Gonzaga on Saturday night will get the 2 seed. Porter, good job by Lewis against a taller man. The stripper. This guy doesn't play like a freshman anymore, Dan Dickow.
No, he's been tremendous offensively, and if you look at that possession, defensively, he held off a post entry to Porter until the very last second and was able to come up with a steal. You've seen growth in his game that end of the floor.
Now, growth in the game of Morauskas is that he can play in the low blocks quite well. He was a perimeter guy at Arizona, did play some low post, but he's really come light years with it here with St. Mary's. Stone Carrawell hunting that shot again.
He's kind of a pick and pop four at Arizona. He's shown the ability to post it, ISO it as well. I mean, he's had some monster games, 30-10, 25-12 against Washington State. He's battled a little bit of an ankle injury as of late, but they need him at 100% if they're going to make a run in the NCAA tournament.
Gaels are 5 of 17 from the field. Marciulionis crashes into the lane. And a timeout on the floor. 15-12. St. Mary's is number 23 in the country. Loyola Marymount hunting an upset. You're watching March to March presented by Principal. Now, you have great hair, Dan Dickow, but I'm going with him when it comes to, he's still rocking kind of that mullet.
He was definitely a fun player to cover over the years here at LMU. Had a unique hairstyle, had a unique game, quite frankly. He was a really good player.
Lewis, dead on three. And that's a start for the Gaels, their first three of the night. Lewis is shooting 41% from distance. He hit 5 of them in the win over Gonzaga.
He's been good in all big games, it seems like. 18 in one meeting against Gonzaga, 16 in the other. Does not shy away from the moment.
Vide is doubled and then fouled on the pass. Our Reese's player profile, Mikey Lewis doesn't play like a freshman anymore.
Well, Randy Bennett told us earlier in the year, he knew right away that offensively he was willing and able to step up to the challenge. Where he was going to earn consistent minutes was on the defensive end of the floor, and he's gradually embraced it and gotten better at it throughout the season.
Johnson against Marciulionis. Gets by him in the lane, rises up, and the shot altered by Saxon and rebounded by Morauskas. 7-0 run right now for St. Mary's. Lewis was looking 3 right away. Marciulionis. Lewis rises. Morauskas, soft putback. Offensive rebound number 4 for the Gaels.
That's what they do. They constantly attack the glass on every shot attempt. Morauskas, 7 rebounds now. We've got plenty of time left here in the first half.
First lead for the Gaels. Vide likes to drive and kick. It's not a three-point threat, and he misses from in tight.
He's a skilled player, but at times indecisive when he attacks. Doesn't have the explosiveness either to create an angle, get all the way to the rim for a finish.
Morauskas baseline, air ball. Saxon picked it up. Marciulionis reloads and missed. Morauskas put it on the floor, lost it. And here come the Lions. Porter in traffic. Had a man open, and he couldn't find him.
Well, Barrett just flew in from nowhere in transition to corral that rebound. It's a perfect example of them.
And Marciulionis with the bucket and a free throw, and the Gaels have stretched the lead to 4.
Marciulionis making an impact in transition. You don't stop the ball, he's going to get all the way to the rim. The finish, the foul, he'll be at the line when we come back for a chance at a three-point play.
Get it to that 6 line, maybe get back to that 5 where they've been for the last 3 years.
When you look at that graphic, though, worst losses, Arizona State's competitive in the Big 12. I believe their net's hovering around 65, but Utah State, I wouldn't categorize that necessarily as a worse loss. Utah State fighting with New Mexico for a Mountain West title. They're really good this year.
San Francisco, the only West Coast Conference team to beat them, and that was in San Francisco. Porter holds the ball, shot clock's down. Stone Carawell throws up a 3. Saxon is fouled from behind by Vide.
St. Mary's has just turned it up a notch over the last 5 minutes or so on the defensive end of the floor. LMU struggling to find opportunities to enter into offense and then to get clean looks.
You mentioned it, and I agree with you during the break. There's a weird vibe in this building right now. There's not a lot of energy. St. Mary's kind of came out sluggish.
Well, to be honest with you, St. Mary's has the ability to do that to opposing gyms and their fans because of the style that they play and the tempo that they play with. And they make it what a lot of people dub an ugly game, but if you value the fundamentals, you love what St. Mary's does. It's just not flashy.
Dan, there's beauty in the Mitchell Saxons and the Marauskases and the Rosses and the Marshallonas.
I'm not saying it's the individual game. It's just the grinded out style that they play with.
But your point's a good one. They do have a tendency to take road crowds out of it pretty quickly. That's a good trait to have. Put that on the resume. That's a floater that didn't really float enough. Coming from Will Johnston. And LMU had a nice lead. They've squandered it. St. Mary's still on that run right now. It's a 12-0 run. Wessels, mismatch down low. And a foul that's going to send Wessels to the line. When we get back to Los Angeles, St. Mary's 20, LMU 15. St. Mary's on the road and on top during the month of February. CBS Sports celebrates Black history, recognizing its influence on our culture and society. And it's 35 years to the day when Loyola's Hank Gathers tragically passed during a West Coast Conference tournament game here. This coming Tuesday marks 35 years from that. 12 days later, Bo Kimball with the left-handed free throw in honor of his buddy, fellow Philadelphian Hank Gathers. It's preserved outside of Gersten Pavilion with a statue that was unveiled in 2020. That's the last time that Loyola Marymount went to an NCAA tournament. 1990. Paul Westhead, of course, the head coach. You had Bo Kimball. Jeff Fryer was the terrific shooter. I think he had against Michigan like 42 or something like that.
Well, they averaged over 122 points a game that year. Just a unbelievably fast-paced style. And then they had talented players in that style, and then the numbers just swelled. But Hank Gathers was a tremendous player.
And it's been a challenge, obviously, to try to rekindle that here. The one thing about Stan Johnson, though, he's the first head coach to have 3 winning seasons in a 5-year span since Paul Westhead.
He's done a really good job here. And, you know, one of those years they weren't able to crack the 500 mark. They were injury riddled. But if you look at 2 seasons ago, they won at Gonzaga where Gonzaga was ranked. They beat St. Mary's here at home when St. Mary's was ranked, and they also beat BYU that same season. So there have been positive stretches. Now it's just continuing to find a way to take that next step.
Amy feeds the posts. Merck Veladze against Barrett, who seemingly can guard anybody from 1 through 5. It's a long drought here for LMU. Amy, short clock, working against Lewis. And a tip by Asanza. The shot was blocked and it went over the rim, and Asanza was there to drop it in, and that snapped about a 5-minute drought for the Lions. Marshallonas and Amy battling.
Important last 3 minutes for LMU.
That's a walk and a turnover.
Marshallonas didn't like the call, but I thought it was the correct one as he came to a stop, slid that back foot, dragging it, resulting in a travel.
All right, so we told you, 3rd winning season in 5 years, first time since Westhead was here. They won 5 straight conference games. That was part of the winning streak during conference. They did have a losing streak. And they're going to finish in the top of the West Coast Conference. They'd like to be in that 6th spot. They could secure it with a win here tonight.
There's lots of good things going on around this program. There's a renovation of some of the athletic facilities, which will impact recruiting.
Porter with a miss. He's 1 of 7 from the field to start this game. Wessels in tight against Porter. Spins, left hand, no. Good job by Javon Porter. Quick 3, Johnston. And he's really had trouble himself. It's the 2nd time he's missed everything. Brent Stover, Wally Zerbiak, he never misses. Ice Young, John Rothstein in our New York studio. AT&T at the half. Get you caught up on all the night's action in college basketball. Take a peek at this one. And John Rothstein's going to find beauty in St. Mary's, Dan. He's going to find
He will.
He's going to find that in a 21-17 game with 2:15 left in the first half.
He's going to find something about every team in the country because what does he say? He doesn't sleep until May. Is that right?
That's right. He needs a T-shirt for Randy Bennett, though. I don't know if he's got it.
You're right on that.
He needs a T-shirt for Randy Bennett, does John Rothstein. Lewis off a screen into the lane, trying to force the pass, and it's stolen. Johnson has it. Lions have not been able to get out and run much tonight. But they're within 4 of number 23, St. Mary's, and Marshallonis with a foul. It's the 16th foul for St. Mary's.
St. Mary's gets back and takes away transition. Marshallonis tries to sell an offensive foul with throwing the head back with Carrawell, maybe clearing out a little bit with that left arm, but good job from the official not falling for the first one. Important possession for LMU. They got to get a bucket or two before they go into the half.
Porter hard, and he's fouled. He'll get free throws.
It shows you a little bit of Porter's versatility. Gets out quickly in a ball screen and able to put the ball on the deck, attack the rim to a finish. But because Moraskis is early in his rotation, Porter's met outside of an area for an easy finish, making Porter go to the line for 2.
We asked Dan Johnson about his offense and how it was going. He said, you know what, we're getting open shots, and that's the good part. So the stuff we're running is working. We're just not knocking it down, and that shows tonight. They are 8 of 29.
And you mentioned it on a couple of the Will Johnston looks. Air ball to 3, air ball to runner. Outside of Caleb Stone Carrawell, they are 4 for 23. He's got to find another area where they can attack St. Mary's and take advantage of it, because right now he's been the lone bright spot on that end of the floor.
And Porter just missed 2 free throws. Lewis off the screen. The 3, man, you cannot leave that guy for any amount of time.
Well, Johnson tries to go under a dribble handoff, and it's no different than guarding a pick and roll up top. With a shooter, you got to fight over the top. Johnson goes under. Lewis simply stops behind, and there's no way Johnson can get back to him.
Biggest lead of the night for St. Mary's. Stone Carrawell trying to get in. Moraskis so big, missed it, and a foul. Saxon with a shove, and that's going to be the 3rd personal on Saxon, I believe. There's some discrepancy on the number of fouls. I think it is his 3rd, Dan.
The box score in front of us just changed to crediting him for his 3rd, and that's important simply for the fact that it puts Randy Bennett in a position. How much does he play early in that second half? If he picks up a quick 4th, what does he do in regards to rotations? Because Saxon, the reigning defensive player of the year in the league, I would imagine he's the favorite again this year, really impacts the game in so many ways.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Offensive end of the floor, he's a great screener. He's a good passer for a big, but
I don't know too many bigs that defend the pick and roll as well as he does.
Yeah, he's tremendous in that area.
All right, final seconds of this first half. Low scoring, 7-point lead for St. Mary's. Lewis around the screen, going hard to the bucket. Looking for Marshallonis, a 3, no. Rebound to LMU. They've got 5 seconds to go. Johnson up the floor, got time, 3 seconds in the lane. He's fouled and he gets free throws. With 0.8 seconds, that could not have worked out any better for LMU.
Push in transition with the game clock winding down, seeing if you can create something. Johnson able to get a little bit of an angle, create contact from Lewis, who's trying to get out of the way, just couldn't quite get there. A couple important free throws for Johnston, who has struggled shooting it so far tonight.
From the line this year, no struggles, 87%. But from the field tonight, 0 for 5. Just 26% from the field, LMU. And Johnston hits 2 free throws, and that feels like a huge moment for LMU. Lions had an early lead, and the Gaels went on a huge run. And LMU gets a couple free throws. Their lowest point total this season was 20, 19 for LMU. But the good news is they're only down 5. After the break, we got AT&T at the half. In LA, 24-19, St. Mary's. You're watching March to March, presented by Principal.
First half, you'll take it however you can get it.
Yeah, the struggle was quite real, too real. You know, tonight, just 19 points. They started out, they had a 15-8 lead, and then that evaporated. Barrett, a 3, is off. Saxon doing what Saxon does. Offensive rebound and a putback.
He is #2 offensive rebounder in the country. He's relentless. He goes after every opportunity, but then when contact comes his way, he doesn't quit on it. He has second and third efforts.
Got 124 of them this year. Asanza with a great catch, and he's fouled.
And if that's on Saxon, that is a huge play, because it's going to create Randy Bennett having to make a decision. If he leaves him in for a minute or two, it brings him right out.
It is his 4th personal. So 4 fouls, just over 30 seconds in, and he whacked him on the arm, and you could see he knew it.
Yeah, you can see the frustration immediately. That's an easy call from the official, but.
So Wessels is in now. He did play in the first half. Porter driving on him and gets the shot up and in. Second bucket for Porter, and LMU back within 5.
Good job from Porter there by playing off of 2 feet. In the first half, had a similar drive as that one, but played off of 1. Wasn't able to draw a foul or convert. That time, under control with 2 feet, converts.
Ross around a screen. Sansa tips the rebound to himself.
With Saxon picking up his 4th foul, this is an important chance for LMU to get into a little bit more of a flow offensively.
Wessels with the block. Marshallonis pushes tempo. Good look to Barrett, and the layup is in.
What a pass from Marshallonis.
Lead back to 7. Stone Carrawell stepping into a 3 is Johnston, and he hits it. Boy, he had airballed a couple in the first half, and that has to feel good.
Well, that time, not worrying about previous results. You're open. You have to shoot it with confidence. Stepped up, knocked it down that time.
Morauskas stumbles into the low blocks. Sansa blocks it, but Porter fouled.
Get another look in transition. St. Mary's, they will push on occasion selectively, and with a point guard, Marshallonis, he will make you pay with his decision making.
Morauskas hits the free throw. Gaels 69%, not a great free throw shooting team. And the lead is 6. Miserable shooting for LMU in the first half. Gaels weren't much better. Stone Carrawell matched up against Ross. Sits around him, rises, and missed it. And Wessels an offside rebound. Wessels has played plenty of minutes lately, so it feels like he's ready for this in terms of the workload.
He's really come into his own the last 10-12 games or so. His ability to score the ball is being shown. They played that twin tower lineup.
Oh, Asanza, that's like his third block tonight.
That ball was shot from such a low angle that he probably could have caught it if he wanted to. Jordan Ross tries to sneak one up. Asanza, no, no, no.
Marciulionis. And for the Gaels, they'd love to get him going here in the second half.
That's just what good point guards do. Sense the game, feel the game out. When big plays need to be made, step up and knock it down. Didn't shoot it well in the first half, did Marciulionis, 2 of 9. But he understands where his opportunities are going to come and how to make the most of them.
Johnston. Short clock, bad pass. Marciulionis steps through, high arcing shot. Loose ball out of bounds, and that's going LMU's way. They met earlier this year, and it wasn't pretty in the second half. It was a beatdown. The Gaels, 51-32 in the second half, outscored the Lions.
And to be fair to Loyola Marymount and other teams in the West Coast Conference, St. Mary's has a way of, when they get you playing ugly, as Porter knocks down a straightaway 3, it can snowball on you at times. Because of their suffocating defense, they make everything so difficult.
Mikey Lewis been the best outside shooter off the bench for the Gaels. Morawski's got a double-double right now. He's got 10 and 10. His 12th double-double this season. And a foul on Porter on that 3. Morawskis is going to get, I think it's either 3 or 2. They may look at his foot on the line.
Official had a good look right in front of the St. Mary's bench.
What'd you think?
I'm not an official. You're putting me on the spot. In that situation, if the player's not able to follow through with just a little bit of a touch, it should be called as a foul. He was not in his space where he would land, so you know the foul's not coming in that area. So if it impacted his ability to follow through with a touch on the forearm or the hand, yes, that's a foul.
Now, you were a shooter in the NBA. You were a shooter, obviously, at Gonzaga. So that was a very fair and balanced assessment.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
As far as defensively, I would have argued that myself.
Yeah, that's another side. So Morawskis makes it hurt. That foul, Porter's 3rd, and a 35-27 lead. Morawskis now with 13 points to go with those 10 rebounds. He's done a lot of damage at the line. He's 7 of 7. Vide again, not a threat to shoot from the outside. Porter lobs. Asanza finishes.
Holy cow, Asanza. He's been really good tonight. Activity, his length has caused problems both ends of the floor. That time catching a lob. Most players couldn't get to that.
Ross into the lane. Cut off. Morawskis falls down, stumbles, is in the lane still, and St. Mary's going to get a timeout. And look who they visited. It's Dan Dickow before he had the flowing locks. How was that visit? You remember it?
Yeah, that was a great visit. My high school coach, Eric Yort, was on the far left. Randy Bennett was lead assistant for Lorenzo Romar at Pepperdine. You know, it was hard to say no to that campus up in Malibu. I made a decision to start at the University of Washington before going to Gonzaga, but Lorenzo Romar was terrific in those recruiting conversations. Randy Bennett really had a tremendous eye for what I could bring to the program, and it's been fun to stay in touch with those guys all these years later.
Paul's going to stay with St. Mary's. Lorenzo, of course, has had a long career, great run at Washington for sure, a lot of NCAA tournaments there, and an assistant now here at LMU. He said his 2 best assistants as a head coach, Randy Bennett and TJ Otzelberger, who's now doing great things at Iowa State. was with him at Washington. In and out. Wessels back up. I should say he said 2 of his best, because there's probably a half dozen assistants that are watching tonight and said, wait a minute. So 2 of his best assistants. Among. There you go. Wessels gets to the line. He's a really good free throw shooter, at least so far this year, 83%. CBS Sports Network coverage of college basketball continues tomorrow. This is about as MAC as it gets in the MAC. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan. Tomorrow, 6 Eastern. And Western Michigan will be nearby to observe in case they're needed.
Yes.
In case they're called upon.
The directional schools.
Vide drives. Morauskas cuts him off. Porter backing down the smaller guard. Spins, left hand, won't go. And Wessels with the rebound. An 8-point St. Mary's lead. They've been unable to really pull away from LMU. Morauskas had that ankle tweak and he goes down hard, and that's a walk. No, it's a foul.
Wow, I thought that should have been called a travel. Officials.
One official started the walk.
Morauskas falls, looks at the officials. I know what's going through his head. Oh man, you got me. And then he gets bailed out with a foul call.
Corner 3 from Barrett is off. You see the foul trouble. Saxon and now Porter. Merklavadze missed it.
With the fact that both teams are really struggling to shoot it, although a little better in the second half, it's almost as if you can string 2 or 3 good offensive possessions together. You could climb right back into this, or St. Mary's completely separate themselves.
Marshallonis trying to get it up on the rim for Wessels. Vide has the rebound. Lions haven't really been able to run much. Transition defense so good for St. Mary's. Merkvaladze backing in on Barrett. Gets it up and missed it. Wessels has the rebound.
Point blank, got to be able to finish those.
That's the thing, and it's exactly what Stan Johnson told us. Our offense, we are getting good looks. Our shooting needs to improve.
That's one of those fine lines for a coach and player. You know you've got opportunities you've got to make, but you can't talk too much about making shots and putting pressure on players even more so.
Whoa. I'm not sure what that was, but Morauskas made it look easy. And that's the biggest lead for St. Mary's, a 10-point lead. Stan Johnson calls the timeout. He's not happy. 30-second timeout. 10-point lead for number 23, St. Mary's. Just like just Gonzaga on Saturday night. What do you call this shot, Dan?
I have no idea what to call that shot other than, oops, okay, wait, I got it. Let me just finish it up off the glass with some spin. St. Mary's starting to pull away, but LMU has got to be better on the glass if they're going to climb back in it.
Vide gets it up and in. Barrett goes down. Randy Bennett wants an elbow. It didn't look like Vide really threw one, but when he turned to shoot, it looked like he caught Barrett. The question is, was Barrett in his cylinder, so to speak, or did Vide swing the arms aggressively?
For a flagrant foul.
Officials will take a look at this, and there is nothing flagrant in my eyes about that. Quite frankly, if you were to officiate Barrett on a night-in, night-out basis, he would be a difficult player to officiate because he's so physical. He leaned into the space of Vide. I think that's, quite frankly, a good no call on both players. No, definitely doesn't feel good, but I don't think that's a flagrant one in any way, shape, or form.
Officials have looked already.
The no call on the floor is confirmed.
Tony Padilla, thank you. Good call, Dan Dickow. See, you said you weren't an official, but you handled that like a Gene Steratore would.
Well, I could give an occasional call, right?
Randy McCall came over to even compliment you on that, dissecting that call.
I've coached my two boys' youth teams. My older boy is a senior in high school. My younger son's a 6th grade. I've coached them both and their teams throughout. And when I run practices, I tell the kids, look, I'm the worst official in the world when we scrimmage or do stuff, so don't look to me for any help. But I've been right tonight, at least on one call. That's a good, positive sign.
And again, especially in the low post, the offensive player has a cylinder in which he can move his arms and elbows to get a shot up, as long as he doesn't go outside of that cylinder. Wessel's a bullet pass. Morauskas hit him right on stride.
But if you're Amy, you cannot gamble in that situation and give an angle for Wessels on the catch to just easily finish with a dunk.
Vide is good at getting in the lane. It's the finishing part that it's a work in progress. He's just a sophomore.
They transferred from UCLA. They've got high hopes for him. A good feel for the game.
Barrett's back in. Bleeding is stopped. Wessels, good first step there, and a sweeping hook. I'm telling you what, this guy, every time you see him, Danny, he's better.
Well, so much of it is he's getting consistent minutes now. You know, he showed flashes the first 2 years. You talked to the staff that they really liked what he brought to the table, or he could bring, but he couldn't get minutes because Saxon was playing. They've found a way to play them together at times here lately.
Stone Carrawell was so good in that first half, and that's a bucket and a foul and a free throw for LMU. Something they desperately needed last year in the conference. Probably going to repeat that. First team all-conference guy. And Harry Wessels is doing just fine, and so are the Gaels. Lead is 10. In fact, that last bucket that Wessels hit is the first time all night that either team has made 3 field goals in a row.
We had talked about it, that neither team has been able to get into a good flow on the offensive end of the floor. Clearly credit St. Mary's defenses. They've done a good job throughout the season, but LMU has forced St. Mary's away from their strengths a lot tonight as well.
Marciulionis kicks, Morauskas, Wessels spinning.
Good defense from the Sansa there.
Marciulionis, that's beautiful, rising with the left hand.
He's just such a good point guard, recognizing what his team needs to be successful, whether it's be aggressive to score, and post entries, pick and rolls to drive and kick. Defensively, he's great. And he was a bit of a surprise last year, winning Player of the Year, but when you look at the intangibles and really lock in, he's what has made St. Mary's really successful these last few years.
Vide finishes beautifully with a spin. If that young man can find the touch to finish, he can penetrate. He's strong, he's quick, he can really handle. Now Marciulionis, Wessels, drop to him. Big fella is eating right now.
But again, it's the patience and the understanding of angles from Marciulionis. You mentioned Vide for LMU. You know, a great blueprint would be watching how Marciulionis plays with pace and plays with angles. That would be a great player to learn from, but we get another look at Marciulionis rejects the pick and roll high over the top before Asanza can get there.
Wessels now 9 points and 3 rebounds, or excuse me, 6 rebounds. So he may have a double-double. Saxon already, or Morauskas has a double-double already. But Veladze misses. And that ball's going St. Mary's way. Randy Bennett is going to bring Jordan Ross back on the floor. Lewis comes out. Wessels will stay in. Barrett, Marshallonis. And Ross.
LMU in a zone now, changing things up. The zone was successful to a certain extent for Gonzaga against St. Mary's in the first meeting. Many teams have tried to slow St. Mary's down by doing the same.
Amy goes hard, trying to get to the cup, and he does with a left hand. We told you he was a really good scorer at San Jose State. Hasn't quite found his stride here, but it's still single digits for LMU. Morauskas high, low. Man, you just can't. Asanza, that looked like goaltending, but it goes as a block.
St. Mary's bench all wanted that as a goaltend.
Amy starting to feel it, starting to get downhill. Delivers! Asanza!
Well, because Amy's been able to get into the paint the last couple possessions, first time for the score, second time now help side has to react, creates an opportunity for Asanza. Rare breakdowns from St. Mary's to allow the ball to get to the middle in penetration.
Lead is down to 7. In the zone, giving St. Mary's some trouble here. Ross gets in, and that is an offensive foul. And I'm not sure if it was on Wessels. Wessels right now is jawing with somebody. Right there. That's a foul.
That's an easy call from the official. The official's now telling Marshallonis, as the leader of that ball club, control your guys and their emotions, because that could have been deemed possibly a flagrant one in my eyes on Wessels, because he clearly targeted Asanza and how he tried to clear out space there.
Second foul on Wessels. Saxon's back in with 4. LMU is within 7. Stone Carrawell falling away, and he hits the bucket, and suddenly there's life in this building on a 6-0 run by LMU.
Stay in the zone that's been successful for LMU these last few possessions. See if St. Mary's can figure it out. Attack the middle, quick decisions.
Oh, a 3 by Barrett, and a big shot for the Gaels.
That was a big shot. He hit a huge one against Gonzaga in the final minutes in Spokane a week or so ago.
Johnston. Stone Carrawell. Mid-range game. And Asanza knocks it out of bounds, and he may have fouled. Home of the Lions, it is under construction. 50-42, St. Mary's on top. But 2 years ago, it nearly came apart because LMU was up against number 15, St. Mary's. They got a game-time bucket from Cam Shelton at the end of regulation. And in overtime, Shelton would score 10 of their 15 points, including that sweet move. And of course, when you do that, you storm the court. 78-74 was that upset win.
They're in position tonight where they could make it happen again against a ranked St. Mary's team, down 8. MJ Amy has come alive in the second half to make plays. Caleb Stone Carrawell has been a rock-solid force throughout the night, leading them with 13 points.
So full court pressure. Saxon is in right now. Ross has got to get it across, and he does with a second to spare. Marshallonis has got 9 in the game, and he floats one up off the rim. Amy has the rebound. Lions want to get up the floor before St. Mary's can set their defense. See the shooting. It's gotten better in the second half. Johnston.
They're trying to get Carrawell on the post. Good job from Marciulionis to recognize it and not allow the post entry.
Johnson with a three. Oh, he hit it! 2 air balls in the first half, 2 threes in the second half.
He plays with a lot of confidence.
This is as close as they've been in a long time. St. Mary's just couldn't pull away. Saxon spinning against Asanza. Saxon a hook, and it goes for the big fella. Mitchell Saxon out of Seattle.
Saxon's not necessarily known as a low post scorer, but even against Asanza, who's a good defender, you can't give someone 6-7 dribbles to get to the sweet spot. At some point, you got to dig down, give him a little bit of thought as to that a double might come.
Stone Carrawell in tight. Saxon, if it's his foul, it's his 5th.
It looks as if it is his 5th.
He's gone. He kind of stumbled into it. Oh no, that's
it will be his 5th, but it really, the breakdown started with Luke Barrett lunging at Carrawell as he came to a stop with a little up fake. He stays in position. Carrawell doesn't get an angle to attack Saxon.
So Saxon leaves. This is game number 151 for him. That's a school record. Alec Dukas now in the NBA, 150. And so that's a record. And he's got a lot more to go this year, right? On to the West Coast Conference Tournament. He's got a game on Saturday, and then on to the NCAAB tournament. Again, 5-point lead. This is something Stan Johnson talked about, is pressing St. Mary's, disrupting them up the floor. Wessels back in the ball game. Marciulionis has been really good here in the second half. Spins around the Wessels screen. Screens again. Wessels against Asanza, leaning in on him. Gets inside, gets up and missed it. Barrett to Ross, a 3, and he missed it. And LMU has a chance to cut into this 5-point lead. Four and a half left. Stone Carrawell over Wessels. And Wessels has the rebound.
And like that, you see Marciulionis simply control the pace, doesn't get sped up, make sure takes as much time off the clock as possible, getting down the ball down the floor.
Biggest lead was 12 for Randy Bennett and number 23 St. Mary's. 7 rebounds. They could get a double-double out of Wessels and Morauskas, who already is at 15 and 11 in this game. And Wessels begging for the ball early in this possession. Morauskas launches straight on, missed it. Ball's loose and an offensive rebound, and LMU can't let that happen.
I was just about to say, you have to finish possessions with a rebound. That was priority number 1 at shoot-around today, and the second time now in the last minute that St. Mary's has been able to get a second chance at it.
6th team foul on LMU. That was on Alex Merkvaladze out of the Republic of Georgia. 4-year player here. Under 4 minutes, Morauskas. Now Marciulionis. Lewis forces a 3, and LMU has it. What a defensive possession for the Lions.
Well, Lewis tried to draw a foul, but what he didn't recognize is he still had probably a good 2, maybe 3 seconds where he had time to create something for himself or someone else.
Stone Carrawell going downhill, and he hits a bucket. The lead is 3. Last time it was a 1-possession game was when St. Mary's took a 17-15 lead. Now it's down to 3 here with 3 minutes left in the West Coast Conference. Regular season champs, number 23 in the country. The St. Mary's Gaels, and a foul is going to send the Gaels to the free throw line.
Stone Carrawell has been solid throughout this evening. 17 points now. Gets to the paint, able to get a little bit of an angle, and he's got that nice mid-range floater type game. Not an explosive athlete where he's going to finish over the top at you at the rim, but he's creative in that 6 to 12 foot range.
Goose at the line. Shooting 1 and 1, and he misses the first. An 80% free throw shooter, and an opportunity staring LMU right in the face. At home against the number 23 team in the country. Number 16 in the net. Open is Johnston, kicks it back out. Merkvaladze going hard. Wessels with the block. A big rim protector. The Aussie. Merkvaladze against Amy. Help comes. Backing in. Falling away. Wessels, offensive rebound. He gets a big smile when he has something like that happen. And Ross with a drive and a finish. 2 minutes left. 5-point lead. St. Mary's, timeout, LMU. Wessels just doing yeoman's work right now.
Well, it comes down to the offensive glass once again. Ross gets that opportunity to finish, control it, make sure you get a great possession as a team in a difficult situation. Barcelonas, to me, would be a closer. Caleb Stone Carrawell has shown the ability to close as well this year, but Will Johnston has a game winner at the buzzer as well earlier this season.
Johnston, Amy, good score against Ross. Backing in, or excuse me, Stone Carrawell got it up, foul before the shot. It's going to stop the clock. St. Mary's had a foul to give, so they've got 6 now. If you're thinking threes here, LMU is 4 of 12 tonight. On the season, not great, 33%. Stone Carrawell, baseline falling away. Asanza tipped it loose. St. Mary's so hard to pry a rebound from.
They just fly to the loose ball on the glass, whether it's offense or defense. They had 3 blue shirts circling that ball as it came off the rim.
Lions need a stop. Gaels want to run clock, get a bucket. Marshalonis. Morauskas clocks at 5. Morauskas going, almost walked. And it's a shot clock violation.
Great defensive possession from LMU. They switch, and the smaller Johnston was on Wessels, and sometimes when that happens, you get so focused at trying to hit that mismatch. Morauskas couldn't find an angle to get it to him that you get stuck playing against the shot clock. Morauskas couldn't get the shot off the time.
Lions are looking for a go-to guy right now. You got Porter in with Johnston, Stone Carrawell, Amy, pretty good score, and Merkvaladze.
Amy had that nice stretch to energize LMU to get back in this game.
Johnston goes and is fouled. And he's getting to the line. They went with a really small lineup. Did LMU. Johnston will shoot 2 free throws.
He's a good free throw shooter, 87% on the season.
This guy is a self-made player. He is out of Australia, no Division I offers, spent 2 years in junior college. He got 1 offer after that from University of Texas, Rio Grande. Played a season there, and this is his 2nd year here. Coming up next, we're headed to the studio. Highlights, analysis, all of that, coast to coast on a college basketball night. right here on CBS Sports Network. Inside college basketball. Late night in the West Coast Conference here. Will Johnston, who may have another year of eligibility, played 2 years at a junior college. That's still in question for a lot of JUCO players.
Yeah, NCAA continuously changing rulings. It's hard to keep up with it, but that looks like where it may be trending to. You're right, Rich.
Marshallonis against Johnson. Milking clock. Wessel's waiting to come set a big pick. Here it comes. Marshallonis kicks. Ross clocks at 4. Marshallonis rotates. Morauskas got it off and hits it. Huge shot for the Gaels. The very last second of the possession. Boy, you talk about veterans. Marshallonis knowing exactly where Ross was. Ross knowing exactly where Morauskas was.
It's the patience of inexperienced ball club. Marshallonis not running the pick and roll until the time is right, and then knowing he has time to swing the ball one more to an open shooter in the corner.
And you see the clock above something the home crowd would like. Not a lot of time, and LMU is down 6. Johnson's going hard to the bucket, gets the layup up and scores.
I like the decision to quickly attack the rim. Don't have to be married to 3 in this position.
Johnston with the foul, and that's going to be Jordan Ross at the line. He's a 71% free throw shooter, and it will be 1-1. Some good assistants, some good guards on that bench, right? Joe Rahan, Mickey McConnell.
Definitely a couple
those
point
guys,
guards who can share their knowledge and experience with Ross, Marshallonis. There's been some really good point guards out of this program. Patty Mills, Della Vadova, Emmett Marr.
One more. Missed it.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a 3 yet, but you got to attack quick.
Johnston. Stone Carawell lost the ball. Time's running out. 8 seconds left. Porter the catch. He's fouled. And so that's going to stop the clock. Still just 6 seconds remain, and Porter is going to the line.
If you were LMU, you would have liked to get into something a lot cleaner and quicker. About 20 seconds, 18, 20 seconds went off the clock there before you were able to get fouled and get to the free throw line.
They absolutely need Porter to make these free throws. He's 0 of 2 for the line tonight. 68% on the season.
So you plan and expect for 2 makes. Be organized in regards to what you're going to do, trapping or shooting the gap, trying to get a steal quickly on the inbounds, and then knowing that you're going to have to foul quick on the catch if you don't get a steal.
LMU does not have a timeout. St. Mary's has 1 timeout. It's a 3-point game. So now you got to be ultra aggressive on the pass. And if you're going to foul, it's got to be quick. Barrett calls a timeout. That was close. And that is the last timeout where Luke Barrett just called a timeout.
Here, St. Mary's, last thing leaving that timeout is we have no more timeouts. You must get open, come to the basketball. And for LMU, go for a quick steal. If you don't get it, you got to foul.
Barrett to inbound. And it's Lewis who's in the game. And he's fouled. Boy, it took a lot of time for that whistle to blow. They whacked him pretty good to begin with. And Merkviladze had to go back in for seconds to get the whistle.
About 2.7 seconds went off the clock there. You know, one of the things in that situation, it doesn't always happen at the college level, but the NBA, you will tell the official, hey, I'm going to go for a steal and foul if I don't get it. To leave no doubt in the official's mind.
That's the first one, and that's where it ends. So you've got the freshman Mikey Lewis, who's so poised, 74% free throw shooter. Lewis to the line for the first time tonight, and it's 1-1. And if he misses it, the Lions can't call a timeout. They're going to have to rebound it, get it out, and get something off from about half court in all likelihood. On the way, he missed it. Amy, oh, he had time, and he throws one up, and it's short. Had probably almost a second more.